So the market is pumping today. Everybody's super optimistic. Everybody's super excited. However, USDT may be telling a different story. So in this video, I want to explain why I think we might actually have one more dump and how it would look on USDT Dominance. Before we begin, if you don't know who I am, my name is Gio and I teach you why the market moves the way that it does so that you can have confidence with your trades. If you like the content, consider subscribing. And if you love it, considering joining the Nexus, which is my premium trading network. In the description down below, enter thenexus.com. All right, I don't have too much time today, so we're going to have no edits, all stutters and all in this video. Try to keep up. This is my second take, and let's get started. So right now, USDT Dominance is telling a story, and that story may be calling for a little dump before potentially we take off, okay? Now, what happened on USDT Dominance? We've talked about this in the previous video. We came down to a 3-day demand zone, and we flipped structure bullishly. Ever since that happened, we've been putting in a series of higher lows and higher highs on USDT Dominance. This is important. This is why myself and the Nexus have been mid-time frame bearish, because we are in an uptrend on USDT Dominance. And as we know, USDT is an inverse correlation to the rest of the market. That being said, what are we looking at now? While the entire market, once again, is very optimistic and looking up and saying up-tember, like Carl from the Moon is saying up-tember, we are simply just following our plan. Don't mind this drawing. We are simply just following the plan of putting in higher lows and higher highs. Today, we came down to this inducement block, okay, this 8-hour block right here. It is an 8-hour inducement block that resides just beneath this previous wick. Let me zoom in so you can see it. Oh, that's not zooming in. This wick right there, there's your inducement block. We came down for that inducement block to potentially put in that higher low to then make that higher high, okay? Now, why is this important? This is important, and the reason that we're looking up this way is because this high that we put in a couple days ago, right, which would have been the low on the market, has left now semi-equal highs. This high here did not take out this high here. Why is that important? That's important because, to me, in my opinion, it makes absolutely no sense for this 3-day demand zone to have flipped structure, had this many follow-up break of structures to the upside, only to front run that high and then roll over and essentially pump the market. To me, that makes absolutely no sense. That's a little bit ridiculous. And so, in my opinion, it's very likely that this high is going to get hit. Now, we've been talking about this high in the previous live streams as well. And, you know, we've had some structure flips since then, right? But ultimately, we know that structure fails us when it has reason to. And in this case, these semi-equal highs is a perfect reason for that to happen. Now, what would change up my tune here in thinking that we're not going to just continue the trend? You know how they say the trend is your friend? Well, let's just say we want to break up with our friend and we don't want to say that this is our trend anymore. What would I be looking at? Well, first of all, we need to lose this 8-hour demand zone, okay? That's a big first of all. We have to lose this 8-hour demand zone. If we do start to lose 4.34%, which is the bottom of the 8-hour demand zone, I suspect we're going to come down to 4.24%. So what would that look like? Well, your structure at that point would look like this. And then from here, left to right, you would have a break of structure. Now, here's the interesting part. Even if you get that break of structure, and this is what trips up traders all of the time. Even if you get that break of structure, you are expecting essentially one of two things. Number one is going to be lower high, lower low, which is why you saw this on the screen earlier, because I told you this was my second take. The other option is higher high, potentially SFP, and then lower low, if you are expecting that new trend to transpire. I don't know if that's the right word, but today it is. Now, this is important as well, because when does structure fail you? I would consider this version structure failing you. Like, why wouldn't we just put in a lower high, lower low? This happens when you have reason to. And as we've already mentioned, you do have reason to with these semi-equal highs. So, in my opinion, maybe today, maybe tomorrow, maybe next week. I don't know the time frame of it, but I do suspect that we are going to hit 4.6% on USDT Dominance, which could effectively dump the market one last time if Uptember is going to be a thing, which I don't obviously trade that way. I don't trade based on weird, goofy words, but that's what I'm looking at right now on USDT Dominance. So we'll see how it goes. I'm a little bit cautious here. I'm watching for market structure flips in this zone. I'm watching for confirmations in this 8-hour demand zone. If tonight might be an all-nighter. Like, I might go on stream tomorrow and have some wicked P&Ls and everyone's going to be super confused because, but I mean, really, USDT Dominance is kind of telling the tale here. So we'll see how it goes. And I mean, yeah, trade safe, my friends.